We're now on to our third honeymooners, Whitney and Duka. These guys are waking up of a morning in the UK, so they're still in the UK before flying out. And to be honest, nothing's changed. We've still got the same rude Whitney and the same nice Duka, trying to keep the face on for her. To be honest, I would have popped off. This guy is too nice. And sometimes I do question whether there's more going on with him, because I'm thinking about the way he was raised, with manners and so forth, and the way his dad said to him that she's rude. His dad knows him back to front, I'm sure he does, to know that this lady, where did they get her from? Because this woman is not for you. So there's something there that makes me question, this is not the type of woman you would normally go for. Even though you put down, you want somebody feisty and with a backbone. That's what you put. You got more than you bargained for. There's a difference between being feisty and rude, or feisty as we would say. And she is downright rude. There is no excuse for that type of behaviour. No excuse whatsoever. You can see that he's doing his hardest to stay upbeat. But she's just tearing down those walls. Because we know it's going to kick off sooner or later. He can't keep that mask on. Because it is a mask that he's wearing. I'm not saying he's a bad person. Not in the slightest. I'm just saying the way she's poking at him. She's poking the bear. And she keeps poking the bear, and she keeps poking the bear. Eventually, that bear's going to bite. The more I see of this lady, the more I look at somebody that's broken. She needs therapy. And I'm not even making a joke of this. She needs therapy. Anyway, moving on. These guys finally arrive at their honeymoon destination, which we find out is South Africa. Oh, that looks pretty. South Africa looks pretty. But in my head, I'm thinking, how did you do that flight with her? That means you had to sit for 12 hours? 12 hours with that demon. Ah, dear. I don't know how you did it. I really don't. I can imagine that flight being her saying, no, I don't want you sitting next to me. I need space for my bags. That's the attitude I would expect from her. She would have made you sit in the back. Just don't sit next to me. Moving forward, when we saw them talking to the camera, you saw Whitney say something like, I've always wanted to come to South Africa, but I've come here with this random. That's what she called him. This random. The girl rude? She rude, you see? I just can't. This girl's too rude. And then when Duka was talking to the camera, he was talking about trying to get to know, what's her face? Whitney. She's still got her guard up. I'm trying to get that guard down. I like a challenge. Oh, come on, Duka. What are you doing? You like a challenge? Not like this. This is something else. This is something else. She's not normal. She's not tapped right. As I said, she needs therapy. And you are not her therapist. Anyway, moving on. The next scene we saw was them sitting down to dinner. Whitney said she was getting a vegan meal. And Duka said, yeah, I think I'll try that too. She turned around and said, do you always agree with everything? And he's saying that, I like to try new things, so I will try it. I'm thinking he's too accommodating. He is too accommodating. There's certain things I see what she sees. There's certain things that I see what she sees. He also describes himself as an agreeable person because he's a nice person with a good heart. I can understand a nice person with a good heart because, again, I'm thinking about the way he's raised and the respect he has for his parents. But you can't agree with everything. Because she seems to be running the ship here. And I don't like that. That disturbs me when it's always about her. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to do? Where are we going today? Show me you. So I sort of understand where she's coming from because this is the way I'm looking at it. And then when talking to the camera, you see her talking about him being fake. And it's all about image. And again, I'm going to have to agree slightly there with her on that one. Because no one can be that nice all of the time. I've got nothing against Duka. I really like Duka. Whitney, I can't stand. But when she talks about him being fake, I slightly have to agree. Because outside of this experiment, you wouldn't let that girl, that bitch, get away with the shit that she's been getting away with. It wouldn't happen. And you know it. For she's not the girl that you will bring home to your parents. Let me tell you that now. Stop trying to defend her. Stop trying to paint this picture of her for us. Because what we see is what we see. I don't care what goes on behind closed doors. What I see in front of me, face value, is what I'm going to go on. And she's a bitch. And what I see in regards to you is someone that is nice, is putting on a face for the camera because you don't want to be seen as this dick. You don't want to be seen to be embarrassed on TV. You don't want to show yourself in such a light that it shames your family. You don't want to do any of that. But realistically, I see you. I see you. I can understand where you're coming from. I can understand why you're putting on this persona because you don't want the world nor your parents to see you in a negative light. But she does have some valid points in what she's saying, even though I can't stand her. As she said, be you. Be you. Put some respect on your name and be you. Because we know this isn't you outside of here. You would have put her in her place by now. I'm telling you that now. He also describes her as genuine, caring, cool person with a good heart and also understanding. This is a side that he sees that we don't. And her response to that was, I understand where you're coming from, but I really don't care how people see me. This is me. I know who I am deep down. That was her answer. So you don't care how people see you? Darling, after all this has been viewed on TV, you will care. For with that stink attitude, it's not going to get you far. The majority of people will be giving you a wide berth, and they won't have nothing nice to say about you. You're going to be known as a villain from Series 7. Moving on. We saw these guys go on safari. And that's one of my bucket list of things I need to do. Just the thought of that, yeah. But enough about me. We saw these two on safari. Looking very separate. One sitting on one end of the Jeep and the other one sitting far away as possible. These two, they're not meant to be. We know that. We know that. Duka is flogging a dead horse. She's still in this headspace of him being fake. Him not showing his true self. And as she said, I'm poking away because I want people to see the real him. I get it. I get it. Because as I said, he's being too nice. Because in reality, in your everyday, Duka, you know you wouldn't let her get away with that. You just wouldn't. You just wouldn't. So again, I do understand where she's coming from. Because she was poking and prodding, and you could see him holding himself as not to react. Because that's what she's looking for. She wants to poke as much as she can so she can turn around and say to people, you see, I told you. And then she gets to paint you as this bad person for all of us to see. However, I don't think it's too late for you to redeem yourself and to just be you. We're not too far into the series for you to turn things around and for us to see you for who you really are. Not at all. Nor am I saying that you're a bad person. Not in the slightest. I just want you to be more reactive in the way you deal with her. You wouldn't do this outside, and you know it. Don't let her get away with nothing. And put some respect on your name. Continuing on, we saw them looking at the animals. To be honest, I'm not too sure she was. She looked pissed off in the corner there. Whilst he's trying to remain bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But this miserable cow, I can't do it. I can't do it. As she said, she wishes she was on a flight back home. Well, if that's how you feel, get on one then. No one's going to miss you. Anyway, enough about that trip. The next scene we saw was them having a romantic dinner outside of an evening, supposedly. There's nothing romantic about them. Especially not on her part. Production, you were wasting money here. You shouldn't even have bothered. This was a waste of time. It started off with Duka talking to the camera saying that today we had a bit of a tiff. So the air at the moment is still quite tense. That's really what he was saying. Then the next part of the conversation we saw was them sitting down and talking about how do you think the day went? That's the question he asked Whitney. She turned around and said, oh, I've lost my ring. I've lost my ring? And his reaction to that was, oh, you lost your ring? And then she turned around and said something like, I think the ring lost itself. The ring lost itself. With her no care attitude, like she didn't give a F. You see that girl there? I would have slapped her into next week. Duka's reaction to that, I saw the real him. I said, I can see it. I can see what she's talking about. Because this here is the real Duka. She was purposely trying to get a rise out of him. Yes, she was. Because when I think about the ring, I think to myself, hang on a minute. Let me just rewind back. At the wedding, I could have sworn the ring was too tight. So how did it come off your hand? Unless you're lying. Unless you're lying. We then saw him ask her, we can get a replacement. And she turned around and said something like, oh, no, I'm okay. I like to be free. It feels nice without the ring. Something like that, she said. You see this bitch? I can't take it. I can't take it. She carried on by saying that he could keep his on. Yeah, go ahead, you can keep yours on. He was trying to talk and then she's trying to interrupt him by goading him to say, you can keep yours on. No problem. And you could see he was getting a little heated with that. Because this girl was disrespecting him. And when you saw him talking to the camera after that scene there, the mask was starting to fall. He said, I normally take things on the chin, let it go over my head. This just took it too far. I don't think I can keep this up. That's really what he was saying. And I'd rather see you not keep it up. Lose your cool. Lose your cool. Because we're all behind you. Believe me. Continuing on, we still see her keeping up with the conversation about him being fake and him having two sides. And he turns around and says, yeah, okay, I'll take that. I'm really the person in the middle. So as she said, stop being fake. Just do you. That's what she said. So I'm going to have to wait and see where this goes. Because I want him to have some balls. And as he says, what he likes from his woman is backbone. Have some backbone. And tell her about herself. Please do. I can't wait to see what happens next. So this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.